I'm Judith Durr. Welcome to the studio. I'm in Cave Creek, Arizona. Mountain Studio is my home. We have here today some artifacts that I paint from. This shows everyone what I do and what I paint from. The rug in the background is my trademark signature. This particular rug is from the 1800s, early 1800s. The basketry is Pima and Yavapai pot and baskets. Then you have the 1900s rug. These artifacts are a client's that I'm doing a commission for. What I use is, again, the rug in the background. It's my trademark signature. I like this one because it has a lot of red, it pops, and a lot of history. It's a traditional rug. And then, of course, the basketry. Look at the warp and the weft in the rug, and look at the warp and the weft in the baskets. When you look behind me, you can see a painting, and that painting will show you that it's in progress. The beadwork in these particular moccasins, it's 1930s Sioux moccasins. They are exquisite, absolutely beaded perfectly. This type of artwork is traditional for what I paint from. The artifacts in our home and our studio are all from elegant Native American artists. I paint oil paintings. So when you look behind me and you see the technique behind, you'll see that this particular painting has the warp and the weft. It is the 12th layer is what I paint, and this particular piece is in the 8th layer. You can see that it builds up in time, and the beadwork becomes real. And I want people to want to touch them and to feel them. This particular painting has some exquisite artifacts in it. And what I've done here is I have a beautiful black pot and some exquisite moccasins that a friend loaned me. I have some exciting friends. This particular piece, I'm showing you the compositions that I work from and what I want. I've already laid it out on the canvas, got the basic sketch for what I want and where I want to put the rugs and the layout behind them. What I will probably do with this piece is take and do a dark background so that it'll pop out some white moccasins here, and these moccasins, it'll accent the conchos here. I will be putting in where I want my design for the rug and where I want the base of this to be. I'll have a table here, and this table will drape over the rug. I will come back, and you can see how I've got the layout. The composition is already into an S layout. This is one of the pieces, one of the things that I do. I always check my composition, look to see if it fits on my canvas, and then I lay it out. I sketch it out. I don't work from photographs. I always work from artifacts. However, for the piece that you saw before, I use a photograph. And that right there will give me something to show my clients so that they have something to look at and see where I'm at when I begin. I will take this piece then and I will put a Hopi sash that fits right in here. And I will continue to work down and use this as my flow. You'll notice that there are 4 items that I have in the foreground here. These are the things that will be accented. The rug is my 5th element. I always like to use 3 to 5 elements, and you can see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rug will be the 5th one. And I keep that number. I think that's very important. From here then, I will sketch it in, put in my background colors for what I want to use for my back painting. I will come in with a Viridian green, and I will work on the back and get it all lit in. That will be my background color. I will come back, and then I will work out the warp and the weft of the rug. Let's go to my next piece, and I'll show you exactly what I do when I start working from the beginning. Now we're at the beginning stages of a moccasin piece that I've got. This particular piece here shows you my moccasins and the beadwork that's on them. What I do first is I look at the colors And I've got here the red background that I want in my rug, which I have. And you can see the layout of what I've got with all of my wonderful lines for my beads. And the moccasins are all sketched in, ready to go. That's the very first piece. The second stage of this work is working with the rugs. And you can see here with this particular piece that I've already started putting in the warp and the weft of the rugs. Every piece here has layers. I work in 12 layers. And these layers create the dimension and the depth that's needed for the pictures. You can see that the colors being worked out here. The beads are already laid on. And what I do with the beads is I use a glaze and I will highlight those. Then I will put the beadwork on with my paint here, and I will mix up my paints and I start laying out where I want the beads. The colors that you can see here are pretty close to what's in the beadwork. I look at design, I look at the composition. That's why you see right here the shadowing. The shadowing you can pick out here with these moccasins. You can see how they're laid out. And you can see that this part here is in about the 4th layer. This one here is in the 4th layer. This one here shows you the beginning stages of the 5th and 6th layers. Everything begins to highlight what I'm doing and how I'm working this. The final stages are this piece right here. This shows you a clear-cut picture of what I have. That particular piece is in the 12th layer. You can see the difference from the dark to the light. You can see how the beadwork is a little better and more mature looking. It's actually filled out, filled in. I have shadows in here. I have work in here that you can see that these are better and better and better in depth. After letting my painting rest, I've come back and I do what I call noodling, my favorite thing. This gives me the highlights and any darks that I see in my painting that I need to add to my piece. And this particular thing is taking and making the highest highlight I can get on the beadwork. And you can see how each bead is placed. They are not changed in any way except to bring up the highlights on them. And that's what I want to do, is highlight it and make it stand out. I use a very thin paint at this particular stage, but it gives everything a better dimension and a better look. It just keeps building and building until it comes to the 12th layer. And that 12th layer creates what you see here, that finished, polished look. Every bead is counted and as close to what it can be as possible. I try very, very hard to make sure that everything is in proportion and that it looks good when it's done, where you want to touch it and feel it. Thank you. Thank you for visiting my studio. This is Judith Durr. Thank you.